Okay, welcome to the CUNY SPS Nursing Faculty Meeting. This is our monthly meeting. We hold them this year on the first Tuesday of every month. Today is Tuesday, November 7th, and it's approximately 10 a.m. Thank you to Kenya Baird for taking minutes today. Some items that I just wanted to share with you as we progress through the agenda. I did send it out yesterday. There's a couple of things I added to it, and then of course if there's anything else that anyone wants to add. We're pleased to share with you that we have had some students that were admitted to Sigma Theta Tau. I'm going to bring up the list of the people that met the criteria and then actually accepted. So Anne-Marie Conlon, Lisa Fletcher, Christina Assis, Jerkis Fong, Jillian Morales, Rebecca Carcana, Josemary Goncalves, Evangeline Bestwick, Courtney Nur, Jana Kozlowski, Marcena Brochowska, Lambert, and Jeremy Sieg. So these were our SPS candidates. They were submitted an application to become inducted into the Alpha Phi chapter, which is the Sigma chapter with which we are affiliated. It is affiliated out of Hunter College. That's actually the chapter I belong to. I currently serve as an officer on the board at Alpha Phi, so we were pleased to present these candidates for admission into Sigma Theta Tau based on their academic performance and their interest in becoming part of the larger organization of Sigma. This year we were also pleased to have City Tech students also submit their applications for membership. So in addition to the Hunter students, we also have our students from CUNY SPS and from City Tech. Ultimately, a future goal would be that I'd like to see our own chapter for Sigma, but there's a lot involved with that. And so for now, this is a workable solution and an opportunity for students to network. There will be a fall social, November 15th. There's going to be a panel presentation for professional development on transition to professional practice for beginning students, first-year students, and mid-career students. So that will be a nice thing for them to attend. There will also be an opportunity to share about the Sigma Biennial Convention that just happened last week. I was in attendance there, and I'll share some of the highlights that I gleaned from that with you today. And then we will also be participating in the annual Edwin Gould Children's Services Toy Drive. So we'll be asking students that come to that if they want to make a donation. We'll also be hosting an event here at CUNY SPS, and we'll be inclusive of that as well. So a great congratulations to those students. We're very proud of them, and we will acknowledge them at our ceremonies in the spring at Convocation. So I mentioned that we were going to have a workshop here in December. Some of you may be familiar with our Nursing Leaders Speaker Series. We've launched it in the community nursing area. We've done this for our 303 students for the past 3 years in the fall. It's been a really fun event. We've had some wonderful people come and speak and share about their leadership and their role and how they migrated into community health nursing. This year we want to add a little different flavor to it. We've had a number of students participate in medical mission trips, including to Haiti as well as to Puerto Rico. So I've invited them to come and speak as well about their experience. So we're excited to have our students participate and share their experience as community and public health nurses. We also will have some guest speakers, including Gina Miranda Diaz, who is the Director of Public Health for West New York, which is a township in New Jersey, and she's been doing some mission work for the Puerto Rico crisis after the hurricane. So she'll share some of that with us, as well as a speaker from the Visiting Nurse Service who has also been down in Puerto Rico doing some work down there. So December 6th, it'll be in the evening. We will be sending out a flyer to the students for Nursing 303, as well as to our graduate students, inviting them to attend, sharing the highlights of their international service, but also about what is the meaning of community and public health nursing, and how nurses can aspire to function in those particular roles. Midterm grades were due and posted. The students should be reviewing these now with conjunction with their faculty, their advisor, and making decisions about whether they're going to formally withdraw from the course. The last date of withdrawal is November 10th. That's the last date they can withdraw and get a grade of a W. After that, they get a withdrawal, but it's a withdrawal with whatever their status is at the time, which could be failing. I want to thank everybody for all their hard work in getting those midterm grades into us. So we will be meeting with the advisors afterwards and reviewing all of those students who are at risk. We appreciate all of you who have been keeping us informed about issues with your students. So that it's on our radar, it's on the advisor's radar, and we know that there are some students that are really literally on the fence and have to make a decision this week as to what they're going to do, stay, or if they're going to withdraw. So having that information about their current status is really, really helpful. So thank you for all of that. I want to remind people that every course, every required course, not every course, every required course has what we call a signature assignment, and that is the assignment that is mapped to one of the program learning outcomes. I'm going to bring up that signature assignment map for us to take a brief look at here. And so everyone should have that itemized in their syllabi, which is the signature assignment. And you should be reminding your students to submit their signature assignment to the ePortfolio. Every faculty member has, we don't have the graduate signature assignments up here, but every graduate course also has a signature assignment. Every faculty member received yet another set of login credentials for the ePortfolio so that you can go in and you can verify that the students indeed submitted their signature assignment. So we do ask your assistance in verifying that the students have submitted it. For those of you that are teaching in Nursing 300, we've launched a new version of the ePortfolio that we hope will be a little bit more streamlined and simplistic and less complicated for the students in making sure that they get their ePortfolio assignments and signature assignments posted. So we do ask you to please go in to your ePortfolio. If you don't remember what your login information is, please contact ePortfolios at sps.cuny.edu to make sure that you have your credentials so that you can log in, and then you can see if your students have submitted their signature assignments. We ask your assistance for this. This is important because we want the students to have a track record of their performance here at the school, but also we use the ePortfolio for assessment, for program assessment, and we want to be able to have artifacts to be able to do this assessment. So if students aren't getting it into the ePortfolio, then we can't do the assessments either. So please remember that over this last month of classes, hard to believe, only 1 month left, but over the next month of classes, please be sure to go into your ePortfolio sites and check on your students to make sure that their signature assignments have been submitted. As I indicated, if you don't remember your logins, if you don't remember the steps, the directions that are in the course sites are helpful for navigating there as well, but you do need your login credentials, and you can follow up with ePortfolios at sps.cuny.edu. Spring 18 appointments. We are in the planning stages for the spring of 2018. Thank you to all of you who completed back in September your availability to teach in the spring and letting us know what you can and what you can't do. We have compiled a list of classes. We have assigned people, and I'll be sending memos out within the next week to alert you. You will get a formal notification from the Office of Faculty and Staff Relations by the first week of December. If there's any problems or questions about your assignment, please be sure to get in touch with me so that we can make sure that we update everything. And that will be going, like I said, I'll be sending a memo out to everybody regarding their assignments to alert you to what you had indicated you were available for, and then what our needs are. You will get a formal notification from the Office of Faculty and Staff the first week of December. Faculty development, we did do a Blackboard Collaborate workshop, and it is posted in the Blackboard organization for faculty. I'm going to bring that up so that we can remind people where that is. So if you go to the CUNY SPS webpage, my go-to page is the nursing page, to log on. You can see a lot of information here that's helpful. Upcoming information sessions, we have one now coming up November 16th. There'll be a 12-to-1 session for the BS program, and then a 5-to-6 session for the MS program. So we will be sending a blast out to the undergraduate students so that if they're interested in looking at the graduate program or thinking about it, so that they'll be aware of that. We also do post information sessions on the website, and these are current as of this year. So when I go to my page here and I want to find something, I usually go to faculty and staff up here, and then I navigate to where it is that I want to go. In this case, we're going to go to Blackboard. Notice that we have CUNY is trying to move to more of a universal login. So the same login will actually get you to several pages at this point in time. So this actually will log me into both CUNY First and Blackboard. Everyone has their list of courses on the right-hand side, and if you scroll down to the bottom, you will come to a place called My Organizations, and we have an organization for the CUNY SPS nursing faculty, which is here. There's a lot of good information in here. We have information about upcoming events, such as the Defining Hope premiere, which happened last weekend. This is a documentary by Carolyn Jones, who created the American Nurse documentary, and this is a documentary now on death and dying, and in her case, she calls it Defining Hope. If you go to our faculty information tab, we have lots of information here for you. Our faculty guides is where we keep all of our minutes. We have the map of the signature assignments, as we said. Information for our Nursing 301 faculty who are soon going to be, well, actually we started the New York SIM events this Monday. There's information here about academic integrity. If you have a student who has plagiarized or who has copied from another student, we need to hear about it. You need to report it. If it's a first-time offense and you feel it's appropriate, you can handle it internally, but we do want you to report it, and information about what to do and how to do it is posted in this academic integrity folder. There's also resources here that you can refer the students to. So anytime you have a situation, please do contact me and let me know, and I'll walk you through that process. If you have students that are going to be incomplete, please note that incompletes are for students who have an issue that came up, such as a health issue or something dramatic in their family life circumstances. This is not for a student who has been struggling all along and is near failing and wants more time to complete their work. This is incomplete for extreme situations. If you have a student that's going to fall into this category, Again, please contact me. Please let me know about it so that I can walk you through in terms of what's necessary. I'm going to go back to the faculty information tab. I believe here in the faculty and training, we had some information about different conferences that were coming up. And if you notice here, we also have the Collaborate training that we undertook, and the workshop is actually here for you so that you can actually see it. So the session was created here. There is a recording of it here, although this, I don't see it here. So let me check back with our Office of Faculty Development and Informational Technology, because it appears that this Collaborate training training session is no longer here. So I will find out more for you in regard to that so that we can follow up with you in regard to it. And here was, oh, here, sorry. Here is the recording. We pulled it out for you. Sorry about that. These are some quick guides. So some faculty wanted information on how they could communicate in a face-to-face fashion with their students using a tool that's within Blackboard called Collaborate. So this was a workshop that we did. So this is the training session, and if you want to take a look at it, you can go in there and see and learn about how you might be able to use Blackboard Collaborate in your particular class. Okay, so let's move on. If you are interested in any of our OFDIT programs, this is where you would register for them. So currently going on is a VoiceThread workshop for faculty that signed up for that. Everything, you do have to sign up for these events. And periodically you will get different memos about different events that are happening. So these are all available to you free of charge. As I said, the one that's going on right now is the VoiceThread workshop, but there's lots of other things that are open to you. And if you want one-on-one training for an issue that you're having, feel free to contact Antonia Levy, who is our manager of this particular program. So just so that you're aware of it and that know that it's available to you. Do want you to take advantage and refer your students to this wonderful new resource called Browsine. It actually allows you to browse through different journals. You do need your library login. The students received that at the start of the semester, as did all faculty. And you can actually click on any one of these journals and search individually within the journal. Doesn't replace doing a database search, but it is a nice alternative when you know that you want to search for something particular, such as maybe a nursing leadership article, and you would focus in on those journals that are related to that. Or you wanted to focus on a nursing education article, and again, you would focus on the journals related to that. So a very nice feature, very easy to use. You will need your library login credentials to go any further. So students need to know that. Unfortunately, we don't have universal sign-on for library right yet, so it's yet another username and password that you would have to log into. Currently in progress is our nursing program student surveys. We have one that's out to the undergraduate program and one that's out to the graduate program. I believe that the surveys will close next week, but I'm going to ask Dr. Lavin, Joanne Lavin, if she would maybe comment on the status, where we are with that. Joanne, as far as the surveys, are they open until next week? Is that correct, or do they close the end of this week?
Hi. Actually, they're open until next week.
Okay. Is the 15th the cutoff date? That's
correct.
Okay. All right. So maybe just send a reminder to your students to please be sure to fill out the nursing program survey. It's sent to them from Jose Munoz, and it's a unique link. So if you could send a reminder to them to make sure that they complete it. Again, this is required for our accreditation purposes. So we do need that information. We do actually review it, and we've made changes both for faculty as well as students in terms of program changes. So for example, based on feedback from the students, we made adjustments and changes to our discussion board rubric. Based on student feedback, we introduced a health assessment practice session that we do with our applied theater students. So those are the kinds of things that are useful and helpful in making changes that the students feel would help them in earning their academic progress, and also things that we can implement. I mentioned earlier the New York Sim Days for Nursing 301. For those of you that don't teach in that course, Nursing 301 is our health assessment course, and that is the course where students focus on enhancing their not only physical assessment skills using Shadow Health, but also their interview skills and their awareness of what goes into health assessment. It's much more than just physical assessment. As the culminating event for those students who live locally, which is about 98% of our students, we ask them to come in for a 4-hour session to the New York Sim Center, which is housed in Bellevue Hospital. We bring in standardized patient actors, many of whom work in the medical schools affiliated in New York City, and we created case scenarios. So every student goes through 2 case scenarios with a standardized patient. They focus on communication, a focused physical exam, and then health teaching. They document it, and then we have debriefing sessions afterwards. It's been a really positive experience. It takes a lot of coordination, and I want to give special thanks to Zarina Valenti, who works very hard to keep us coordinated on this event, because it involves not only setting up blueprints, but mapping out students, actors, connecting and coordinating with the New York Sim Center, and then coordinating faculty to help us move the traffic, so to speak. We don't have faculty running the scenarios because they're already in place, but we do have faculty there to help facilitate the experience, to make sure that students progress through the stations, and then to assist with debriefing. So Zarina's been an invaluable help in regard to that. So that's, yes, like I said, Monday was the first date, and we'll have a series of 5 or 6. We're running about 130 students through this program. So it's really grown in leaps and bounds. So a very well-received, well-liked part of the program when we get student feedback. For our master's program, moving along, we're pleased to say we're making slow and steady progress in terms of that launch. We have 34 students in the program. We have 3 courses running this semester. Our plan is to launch at least 3 more courses next semester. We are also pleased to have been able to offer scholarships to our master's students through a grant from the Department of Health. And as part of that grant work, we are also going to run a series of workshops in the fall and the spring. Upcoming in December is a workshop focusing on implicit bias, both in the educational setting as well as in the institutional setting. And we're very fortunate to have Dr. Kenya Beard, who's here on faculty with us and is a nationally known expert in this area, to be able to present that workshop. So we'll be sending information out to our graduate students within this week to alert them to this upcoming event. They knew we were going to have a workshop. We just were able to finalize all the details and the dates within the past week. I want to share with you about our information sessions and also ask for your help in getting the message out. As you saw on our webpage, these are posted. We have the online session for the BS programs on November 16th, and then we have an evening online session also the same day from 5 to 6. We had some live sessions 2 weeks ago at which Dr. Baird and I were in attendance, and we will be having a spring series of these sessions as well. So we do have flyers, so if you are interested or you have people that you know that are interested in attending the school or interested in teaching in the school, we're happy to forward our flyers to you for distribution at whatever facility you are at. Some other things in regard to faculty development. For those of you that live in the Westchester area, you might be interested in this one that we announced last month. The Hudson Valley Nursing Research Group and the Zeta Omega chapter of Sigma Theta Tau are presenting a workshop tonight on the effects of bariatric surgery, and it's going to be held at Mercy College tonight at 6 p.m. Also upcoming this week is the New York League for Nursing and their conference, their fall 2017 conference. Let me see if I can bring this up. Yeah, so this is their conference. And this is also in conjunction. The New York League for Nursing is a constituent league of the NLN, and in conjunction with the Chi Gamma chapter out at Farmingdale University, they're presenting this Innovations, Inclusions, and Integration. It'll be held Friday evening as well as Saturday at Farmingdale State College. These are the fees, and you can register online. Here is the agenda. We have a lot of local people that are presenting here. Some you may know, and it should be an interesting day, both Friday and Saturday. So feel free to sign up if you're interested. It's a great way to connect with people and to make new colleagues and extend your network. I just wanted to alert people who are interested in who are interested in submitting any work that you may be doing. The NLN has their call out for their summit. The summit next year is going to be in Chicago, September 12 through 14. And the call for abstracts is open until December 5th. There's also a simulation conference that will be held in Boise State, Idaho. Susie Cardon Edgron is the simulation guru, and she is hosting that at her university. So if you have a work in progress that you would like to submit, please feel free to take advantage of that. These links are live, and we will post them in the Blackboard site for faculty. So that's the NLN National League for Nursing Education Summit for next September. Sigma Theta Tau also has a call out for their International Nursing Research Conference. So let me bring that up for people as well. And this is actually going to be in July. It'll be held in Australia, in Melbourne. They've extended the call for abstracts to December 11th. I think they have different categories, but again, if you have a work in progress or you have a colleague that you're collaborating with and you want to submit an abstract, just wanted to make you aware of it so that if you have an interest, you can do that. One more is the transcultural nursing. There's a little bit more time for that. And that'll be in San Antonio, Texas next October. The submission deadline for abstracts is April 1st. So transcultural approaches to advances in healthcare. So if this is something that you're interested in, again, consider working with colleagues here or reaching out to us if there's something that you have an interest in working on related to transcultural nursing or any of the other things that you want to address. Want to do some highlights of some past conferences. I attended the NLN Education Summit in San Diego in September, and one of the takeaways for me was a wonderful presentation by a colleague, by, let's see, her name is Deborah Rainier. Hold on a second, let me pull up her, Deborah Raines rather. So she presented a wonderful workshop on creative and self-directed online learning activities. She teaches up at the University of Buffalo. I thought it was a really well done workshop. I'm going to post her slides and some notes that I took about. She had some really interesting approaches to ways that you can do things in an online learning environment. And I thought it was well done, and she had some really good suggestions, including sending students on a scavenger hunt a virtual scavenger hunt, mind you, to the National Institute of Nursing Research. And this is an example of the steps that she showed in terms of how to do that. So really well done. She gives them a scavenger hunt worksheet. She also has them go to her library. An interesting way, perhaps for consideration for some of our early courses where we provide information about the library, but students don't always take the initiative to follow through. Then she has them conduct interviews with somebody from the past, the present, and the future nurses. Some seek and find grave sites of prominent nurses and reporting on them. So really very interesting way of approaching online learning. She uses a lot of video and movies, unfolding case studies. Again, very well done. I thought it was an interesting presentation, and she was lovely to meet, so I will post that information for you as well. Northwell Health System had a conference. I think it was October 26th. I also attended that. They had Patricia Benner present, very interesting talk. I am still in the process of downloading those materials, so I will also post them and make them available, including a very interesting article about student learning from Patricia Benner, who is the architect of From Novice to Expert. And then the most recent conference I attended was the Sigma Theta Tau International. And this was, let me just see, is this? Yeah, so this is, I thought this was an excellent presentation, and I thought it would be really, really useful for us. It was presented by Margaret Renaud, who is at St. Xavier University in Chicago. And she's a nurse researcher who does her research on best practices in online teaching. So she has some excellent suggestions. Many of them we already include in our practices here at CUNY SPS. But I really thought some of her other very specific suggestions were really helpful. About how to establish presence, about how to be compassionate and communicate with your students, and tips and time savers for being organized. And just a simple way of showing presence, you know, using student names every time you respond in the discussions or you grade feedback, rather than just copy and paste a message that you might have, because many students have the same kinds of issues, but making sure that you include their name. Just something as simple as that can be very, very meaningful. Signing your faculty name in the online discussion so that they know that it's you and acknowledge you. Providing very specific feedback using positive tones, and being flexible, knowing that life happens to many students. My philosophy is if a student notifies me ahead of time, I'm usually very agreeable to working with extensions. Students that wait until after the due date and don't post, those are a little bit more problematic, and I'm a little bit more firm with those kinds of students. But I thought these were really great. A lot of them we already have, as I said, introduced into our best practices. But as you scroll through these, you can see even different ways to use the discussion board, how frequently to respond, and so forth. Excellent, excellent suggestions. Again, I'll post them for you in the Blackboard course site so that you have them available. I thought that they were many useful practices that, I thought, gee, I don't use all of these. I'm going to incorporate some of them into my class practices as well. So she even has examples and templates for different kinds of rubrics, how to make grading notations when first reading discussions, really, really useful. And how weekly summaries, you can do a lot of things ahead of time. You can do them to summarize what was the discussion this week. You can summarize that ahead of time and tweak it to reflect the class specifics so that you have some work done ahead of time and that you can be active in your course as well, but not make this too labor intensive. So again, really, really useful. So like I said, I will post this for you. I just want to alert, please let us know if there are any publications or presentations that you have done so we can do some shout outs. We also like to track that for our faculty records, for our accreditation, so that we can acknowledge our faculty for any work that they have done. I think Eileen and Joanne have submitted an article for publication. I don't think they have a date yet, but it was based on work that they did in the nursing capstone course. So again, there's lots of opportunities in working within your course sites that you might consider doing for either a presentation or a publication if that's of your interest. Other business I wanted to bring up today. It's coming to that time of year when we need to be thinking about getting our course sites ready for the rollover for spring. I know that you've identified some issues as you've gone through the courses, and I want to ask you to be sure that you notify and inform the course leaders so that these changes can be made. We'll be posting the list again of who the course leaders are, but that was sent out to you at the beginning of the year. So we want to make sure that faculty that have come across issues communicate to others. My motto is, if you see something, say something, share it. If you find a glitch, if you find different dates for an assignment, let the other faculty in your course group know so that corrections can be made. But now we want to be going back and thinking with a vision about what do we want to do for next spring. And I don't usually recommend lots of changes in course sites from fall to spring because the turnaround time is really tight. So really look at this time of year as making sure that everything's in place and tidy and ready to go. So I'll be asking you to communicate with your course leaders so that they can prepare the courses and have them ready and available for us to submit for quality assurance review before they get course copied. And if we can get that done before Christmas, that would be hugely helpful. So courses that are still in progress and still being developed fall into another category, but those that are already in place, if you would be looking at that and sharing your suggestions for edits, it's preferable if we have one team leader making those changes rather than multiple people. All changes need to be made in the dev site. So while you may have made the changes in your live site this semester, those changes will need to be added to the dev site so that they are copied over for the spring. So I just want you to be aware of that. Again, we'll post the course leader list. It is available in the communications we sent out to you at the beginning of the year, but we'll post it again along with the minutes of this meeting. And then a little alert for upcoming in the spring calendar. is actually, academic calendar is going to start, just see, is going to start, you find where our, there we go. So if we go back to the web page for CUNY SPS, just do that. I'll bring you there, and we will see that the academic calendar, the spring semester, is going to start on a Saturday, but the online course sites will open Monday, January 29th. So for the first time in a few years, we'll actually start the week on a Monday, which is kind of unusual for CUNY. So January 29th will be the first day of classes. All of our new students will be in orientation, an online orientation that will be facilitated by one of our faculty here on staff that works with orientation. We also have 2 student peer mentors that will be working with the nursing students specifically in the orientation site. So that is the onboarding for the students to online learning, but we also like to have what we call Nursing Now workshops, nursing orientation workshop. And this is specifically for what do you need to know about nursing and how does nursing work that may be a little bit different than what you learn about the general practices here at SPS. So we try to have some live in-person sessions, one in the afternoon, one in the evening. We also have an online session, and then we will also have a meet and greet for our graduate students as well. So these are the dates that have been proposed. We're waiting for confirmation on rooms, and then we'll look at availability of our faculty here, and we invite those of you who work with us as adjuncts, if you're available, to join us for one of the in-person sessions or one of the live sessions if you can. It's always nice when the students can connect with faculty so that they see you as real people rather than this anonymous person who signs off in the online world. So we'll get information specifics. Usually we have the sessions from 1 to 3 in the afternoon, and then that same evening from 5 to 7 or so for the undergraduate, followed by the next day an online session, and then an evening session for our graduate program. So these are the dates that are pending. We'll confirm them, and then we'll let you know. We'll invite you to join us if you can. It's nice when faculty come and share, as I said, meet the new students, make them feel welcome. We also invite our support services to come and talk so that students feel connected to their advisors, to the Office of Information Technology, to career services, and to all of the services that we offer here at CUNY School of Professional Studies. So that's upcoming. Just wanted to make you aware of that. We do have a December meeting. We'll be closing out, sort of wrapping up the last semester things and issues. We will also have a holiday party here at CUNY School of Professional Studies. So if you're working as an adjunct and you'd like to stop in, that is, I'll send the dates out for that. I believe it's a Friday, December 8th, usually sometime in the afternoon. So I'll send information out about that. And if you'd like to come, you're more than welcome to join us at that time. So I want to just open up for any questions or concerns for people. We thank everyone for attending today, and we're glad to have you on board. You are the glue that helps us present a wonderful program to our students and helps them move forward academically. We're so pleased. Our growth has been amazing. We have 430 undergraduate students. Our retention rates are in the range of 65 to 75%, which is amazing. And we had the launch of the master's program this fall. We will be launching the informatics program next fall as well. So again, just going to open for questions, comments to whoever. You do have the ability to unmute yourself, but if you can't navigate that, just send me a little text message in the chat box and I'll happily unmute you. So open for questions and comments. Okay, I see that there's no pending questions. So I will close out today's meeting. I'll stop the recording and make this available for people. And I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Once again, this is the CUNY School of Professional Studies Nursing Program. Faculty updates, and our next meeting will be the first Tuesday in December. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks again for all of your hard work.